it is.
Yay.
I just kept saying just about there. All right.
Almost there.
Almost there. I think we're
Oh,
there,
Stay on
guys.
target.
We're back.
Sweet.
love not easy solutions. We spent most of that break discussing the merits of the magic system and
Dude,
how,
it
how you
was
those work.
it was some good stuff, dude.
It was great. Yeah,
Nice.
no,
Good
I
stuff.
love it. I mean, I like to have a fair amount of that decided pre-games, but like
Mm.
some of it you just don't know or think about until it comes up. Like, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
For real, dude. And that's the cool thing about doing this like rotating GM thing is that we're like leaving some details until like we actually encounter it in the game, and then we have a discussion. Like all right, what's gonna go on with this?
Well, and soundboards are always great because you always you're able to always go, oh hey, bounce back and forth. So I don't know what you guys end up deciding on, but we had a discussion between do we want to make it a time dilation or do we want to make it the law of conservation or maybe something else that kind of works on both levels kind of situation. Whereas when you're just one GM, the GM just decides and that's the end of the conversation.
Mm.
For sure.
And we wouldn't have come up with a law of conservation.
Yeah.
Word.
All right, so my dogs are suddenly going to decide they need my space that I'm taking up.
Hi, Gertie.
Hello, I love you, but you're in the way.
No, I love you, Gertie. I love you more than Asa does.
Yeah, she just wants all my love. All right, so it's not very difficult for Alton to run to the guards and be like, "Hey, need you here. Like, person's got no head. Blah 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 blah."
Right.
How much of the situation do you explain to them?
No, Alton I would totally basically go up and say, flag went down and be like, okay, so we were at the Buffos, right? Yeah.
The Sven's head.
We were at the Buffos and this helmet got delivered, right? And so it he put it on or something and then it cut off his head and started flying around. And then it flew out the window and we chased after it and now it's locked in a crypt.
So, you do run to a guard who seems vaguely familiar. I don't know, all big people look the same to you. And explain this story to him. And he just looks at you like you're insane. Then he says, "You're companions with that Eladrin fellow who came through here, aren't you?"
Yeah.
You know, I knew you were all going to be trouble the second you walked through these gates, and I've been regretting letting you through ever since.
Great. It's this guy.
All right, let's figure out what is going on here. Um, Signals to a few of the guards, and him plus two others round up, and they start making their way, or they come to you just to go, all right, lead the way. Let's figure out what's going on here, what kind of trouble you've brought to this town.
I didn't bring anything. You're lucky that I'm here because you guys clearly aren't doing your jobs when there's a giant fucking helmet bat flying around the city, and this is the moment that you guys learn about it. I don't know how you missed it at all. It's a giant fucking helmet bat. But let's go to, I don't know, the Buffos? I don't know, it's a good place to start, I guess.
Hey, you were there. I'm following you at this point.
Okay. I don't even know where this crypt thing is anyway, so let's start at the Buffos.
Okay. They follow you in that direction. And Eigner, you go back to the Drunken Pony to talk with Ethel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you make your way into the Drunken Pony, she's making her way down the stairs. Or up the stairs, rather, because it's all downstairs. All the rooms are downstairs. And when she sees you, she goes, "Oh, Eigner, have you guys figured out what you needed to figure out?"
Ethel, I need you to come with me right now.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I've got things to talk to you about too. So let's go.
Let's go. And I'm just gonna exit and just assume that she is following me.
She is. She's hastily, lifting her skirt a little bit so she can run faster. Dress, not skirt. And keep up with you. Oh my God, dog! You are so obnoxious. What are you doing? You keep jumping up and jumping down and jumping up and jumping down. What's up?
Clearly, we should be doing a dog appreciation stream and not a Dungeons and Dragons
Okay,
stream.
everyone. This is not Dungeons and Dragons. This is Gertrude.
Aww, Gertie.
That's what the next hour and 15 minutes of this stream is just Gertrude. Can we
Dog
put me on
appreciation.
full screen and just forget the rid of the rest of you guys?
It's
Hold
still
on.
D&D. It's just doggos and dog treats.
Yeah, hold on, Asa. If you, okay, you are full screen. Hold Gertrude up in her full glory. Oh, wait, no. If you
No.
laugh, then okay.
What are you
Then
doing?
What?
Hi. Look.
Aw.
Okay.
Okay, back to gallery view.
All right.
We're back
Goodbye.
to normal. I just had to take a little Gertrude break. So Ethel's with me, and I'm walking with her, and I'm talking just very quickly, very hushed. I make sure to have the helm under my left arm, just in the crook of my arm, just very tightly held.
Did you not take it to the crypt?
Nope,
Okay.
I did not. And I'll essentially will fill her in and tell her about the delivery of the helm. Tell her that I was the one that originally discovered the helm, and it left my possession in fantastic fashion, and came back into my possession in even more fantastic fashion. And I'll tell her that it's cursed. I'll tell her that it needs to be destroyed. And also I'll tell her that the town guard are going to be meeting us at the Buffos.
When you bring attention to the helm as you're talking, you're caught up in your story. It takes you a minute to realize that she's not keeping pace with you any longer. When you look back, she's just kind of stopped a few paces behind you, and is like just in a state of like wide-eyed shock. And when you turn around, her eyes are locked on the helmet.
I know it's very scary, and we don't have a lot of time to deal with any emotions
No,
right
it's
now.
not. It's not that. It's not the scary. That helmet. We've already procured that helmet. It's already been set somewhere safe.
Well, obviously it's not, because it's right under my arm right now.
Which means that the one responsible for protecting it might be in danger, might be in trouble.
Obviously. And obviously your whole bureaucratic system that you're so proud of is corrupt, is disgusting,
Eigner.
and is not working.
Eigner,
What?
my
Wow.
husband
Massively.
was responsible for that helmet.
Oh god. Ugh. Ethel, I'm sorry. I've just been under a lot of stress lately. I didn't mean to snap at you. Is this something that I can help with after we take care of the immediate pressing matters?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's did. I don't know what this means. It's not with him. Is he safe? Is he all right? That. Look, I've got a job to do. And I know how to do my job now. I know what needs to be done. I know where we need to go. I've spoken with your friend. He told me where to find the object that he hid here.
Which friend?
Eridu, the elf.
You spoke to Eridu? Where is he?
He was. I do dream things. He was in his dream. Spoke to him in his dreams. He was asleep at the time. All that stuff. So I think I need to go get the orb.
Okay.
and I need to take the helmet, and I need to wrap all this up. You have helped me enough, as much as you can. It seems like you have a circumstance you need to deal with. Deal with that.
No, we need to go with you. That was the plan. That was the job. I can't let you do this all by yourself. We need to get our reinforcements, and we can go. We can help you. If you know where we need to go, let's go.
Okay. Why don't we go? You and me right now. We'll go to get it taken care of.
Okay.
There isn't a lot of time. I don't know that I am emotionally stable enough to make the right decision right now, Eigner. What do I need to do?
You're asking me.
Yes.
Well, I think that we would be better prepared if we had more backup. I know that the Sven's head is not far from here, and I can go grab Onn and grab Alton. And I think, yeah, priority number one, I think, is securing the orb. Priority number two is destroying this disgusting thing. And then, as soon as we take care of that, we can go find your husband and make sure that he's safe.
Okay. All right. That sounds sound. Let's do that.
Okay, to the Sven's head then.
All right. And she follows. She stays behind you a few steps and doesn't say a word between here and Sven's head. On. You've got Tekker resting. You've been able to maintain his loss of blood. His resting has become a little more fitful since the healing happened. It does seem like he's still sleeping, but it's more like an elvish trance where he's very accepting to, if you lift him up, if you lay him down, whatever you coax him into doing, he does without much hesitate or what's the word? Without much resistance.
Yeah.
Thank you. And if probably about it's hard to tell the time, but longer than you had hoped. The long enough for your door that you're wearing to fleck off into slivers of wood. A elderly dwarf with a long white beard that's done up in 3 braids that reach to his knees, and Gerta with her 5 o'clock shadow to show up.
So
Yeah.
Goethe's arrived with the apothecary.
Yes. I was reading your comment and got me distracted about it.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
Goethe, we have tended to him, and he appears to be somewhat stable, but he does need some care. He's lost a lot of blood. You, sir, apothecary, would you be able to attend?
Gerta, she goes running up to him. She's still shaking all over, and she rests his head in her lap and just, my poor baby, how could this have ever happened to you? And the apothecary says, well, you've done a good thing, a good start anyway. I think we can go from here. I need to really address his wound and see where it's at first, but yes, I think I can help. He sits down. Sits down next to Tekker and pulls the bandage or the cloth you've pushed up against him away, and looks at the wound. And there's been a little more like wet, like fresh blood that's done more to build up and create a solid scab. And then he looks at you and says, "I think most of the threat is gone at this point. It's just getting him back to a place where he has enough blood in his body to maintain living, which would take time and probably food."
His arm.
Yes.
Do you want it?
Why would I want his arm?
Immediately, I take one of the blankets from my bag, wrap up the arm, and put it on under my arm. Thank you for your services.
Yes. You've done a wonderful job, sir, and I can take it from here. I believe because of your actions, this boy will live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else is currently in the room? Is Goethe? Not Goethe. Ethel and.
No.
No,
You
okay.
go. You'll probably go. If you go outside, you can probably meet up with them. But...
Yeah, I'll head outside at that point. In fact, I'll try and rush out with my newfound arm.
So at this point, rushing outside, you see coming down one side of the street is Alton, followed by a trio of dwarven guards, and Eigner, followed close behind by Ethel, and you hear a grunting and scraping sound as Brock is walking backwards from the stables, dragging something behind him in the dust. Once he gets clear of the shadows in the stable, you see that he's dragging the coffin out from the stable itself. All these four individual parties are sort of coming out together at the same time in a very clandestine sort of way.
And you are at
Like
the
that-
crux of all of it.
The Kill Bill sirens are going off in my head right now. Oh my god. Okay. I think I am going to. No, I've had enough time to calm down since the helmet incident. I'm not going to freak out. I am going to keep an eye on the coffin and Brock, but move towards Ethel and Eigner. Shift that way, because they seem to be the safest group for me to get close to right now.
Mhm.
They don't want to punch me in the face as much.
Yeah, you walk toward Ethel and the group, keeping an eye on Brock. Once he gets in the coffin into the pure sunlight, he stops and he looks around and sees all these emerging forces at once, and gets a little bit wide-eyed, and pulls one of his axes out and begins to use it to pry the coffin open.
Onn, my friend, do you know where Alton is? We have to gather together. We got to get out of here.
Like,
I
right here, fucking racist.
Oh.
I will drop the arm, drop anything else that I need to. I am going to dash towards Brock, full pelt, and I am going to like taking a bullet. I'm going to dive bodyguard style on top of the coffin and hold it shut.
I
In fact,
will.
I will even face step as a bonus action. I will travel 90 feet.
Oh my gosh, dude! I will be following on as quickly as I can, because this this really just brings up something where On is leaping into danger, and I just really want to make sure he's okay.
Okay.
Confused, I do nothing but stare at these two idiots.
All right. So, first things first, I will do some descriptive explanation, while I would like, Drew, I would like you to give me that tackle roll with advantage, because you are face stepping and you're doing all this stuff while you're running. I'm assuming you're running full tilt. You're gonna face step and just like pop right in front of him after your face step and do the tackle right then.
Yeah.
As you step into the Feywild, you are just so you slide into the Feywild where everything starts to just feel like emotion. You can see and feel all that's happening, and the the where Brock was is just like this standing aura of like swirling rage. You can feel it coming off of him like a heat. And coming behind you, you can sense Eigner, his concern for you, uh, his kind of like overbearing need to protect you, but it's as if there's another force following just next to him. And this, the emotion attached to this is one of just, man, I'm trying to think of the right way to explain this. It's narcissism embodied.
Whoa.
And it's almost as though it's got a hand on Agner's shoulder.
Hey, that shit ain't me, dog.
Uh,
Or maybe it is. I don't care.
Only logical explanation is that's Ethel.
That's Ethel. No, Ethel's not moved since Agner started running, and all around her is just like her whole form is like a river or like a waterfall, just spilling down with sorrow, just like seeping into the ground around her. And Alton, like, he kind of looks normal. Like he just, I mean, Alton in the Feywild is the embodiment of cynicism. He just
Looks the same.
looks the same.
Have you guys heard that Cyanide and Happiness like whistling tune?
No.
No. This really cool like bouncy, jaunty tune. So just imagine like seeing this sorrow waterfall, this weird thing happening with Eigner with his hand on his shoulder, then all of a sudden Alton do 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 do. Happy
It's not even
vibe.
that. It's just like I don't know what these idiots are doing. Like pretty much
Okay.
every day, Alton's expression is always, or like feeling is always like, I don't. Why is this one weird? Why is this one cryptic and enigmatic? Why is this one? I don't even know what this other one is doing.
Fair enough.
From the box itself, there is no emotion, but there is just a void, an absolute void of emotion. It's almost as if there's a section of reality that has been taken away.
Right.
Then you pop into reality, and what's your roll for tackling
14.
14?
I finally got a decent roll on my dice. I got it at 15, but I got -1 to athletics.
You crash into Brock. He swings his axe wildly at you as you do. Does it's a nat 13, so I'm pretty sure that's gonna hit. I don't have his block in front of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Alright.
he's got an AC of 8. That hits.
Yep.
He just cracks you across the side of the face with the flat side of his axe for 5 damage, 5 bludgeoning damage. And then you two go stumbling to the ground together. His axe, falling into the shadow of the stables. His axe leaving his hand and getting just cast somewhere into the darkness. And he just bellows at you. He needs to die. What do you
I agree.
And then kind of popping to his feet, ready to draw his second axe, Brock just kind of bares his teeth at you and says, "Why did you stop me?"
I shall stand up equally angry while drawing a dagger. Because I thought you were trying to let him loose!
In the daylight?
I'm not entirely sure what would happen to him in the daylight. It may not be pretty, but it may not have hurt him too much.
It'll hurt him enough.
Good!
So we're agreed then. I can finish my task?
I'll even help you!
At this point, Eigner shows up.
Eigner shows up and says, I think I caught most of that, but are you two going to kill each other? Or is it okay?
Not today.
Do I need to stop you? Okay. All right. Then
Maybe tomorrow.
what is going on? What are we doing here?
I'll grab one side of the lid of the coffin, ready to help Brock open this thing up, and look at Eigner. Slaughtering a vampire, care to help?
Ha. Okay.
Part of the show again, Gert?
Look, there's so much that we need to do, and if this is on our list also, then it may as well be the one first on the list.
Should we pencil in for 2:30? Yeah.
As soon as possible. Let's just get it done with.
Good. I'm glad that we're all in agreement. And he starts to pry the nails out of the other side of the coffin with relative ease, with the three of you helping. Just torturing a vampire. All right. By now, Alton and the guards show up. The guards are.
Alton,
What is going on
there's
here?
no Alton in the guards. There's the guards. I'm staying way the fuck back.
All right. Yeah, the guards approach, going, "What is going on here? Why is this corpse just in the middle? Why is this coffin in the middle of the road?"
Look, it's a really long story, but it essentially sums up to there being an unregistered vampire, and that is just simply not allowed. And yeah, we're deputized by the proper authorities to dispatch of this unregistered vampire.
Yes. Can't be having illegals sneaking into the city. Yeah, you know, we need to deal with them.
Illegal vampires are the scourge of yes.
Yes. Taking all our night skulking jobs and whatnot.
Germs!
Asa, you are muted.
Oh, I am. That I am. Ethel has made her way toward the towards the group, also a little bit tentatively, and she just is giving Eigner a questioning look, but hasn't found the words to either confirm or deny their legitimacy towards torching a vampire.
Okay.
All right. So within moments, you guys pull open the top, tearing it free. Inside this coffin is a very pale, finely dressed dwarven man. He does have some resemblance to Baron, much more bald than Baron was, with a much more distinguished beard. And for a moment, nothing seems to be happening.
I will look away from the corpse to the guards and ask them, any objections to us disposing of this foul creature?
The guards look at you and go, and the one who you recognize from being the one who has accused you of toying with his mind in ways that are just not okay, says, "You know what? I should never have let you guys off. This is going too far. You are definitely messing with the serenity of this town, and now you are dragging a corpse into the street claiming that it's a vampire. What is this supposed to do if it was a vampire? What would be happening right now? Because I see a dead body in my town, and you three again with another problem, plus I'm hearing reports of a corpse with a severed head. You're all under arrest."
Can I perhaps cause some trouble?
You can
Yes.
do whatever you want to.
You are allowed to do that.
Eigner is just not sure what to think at all right now.
I am going to look towards Brock and see if I can subtly communicate to him, get the guards. And if he doesn't, I am more than willing to cast suggestion
Ah!
and tell him to go and get the guards.
He's in a vulnerable state. I'm sure just using suggestion would light him off.
You don't even need to use suggestion. He draws his axe and takes a step forward towards the guard and says, "If any of you would like to arrest these men, you'll have to come through me." I keep screwing up Brock's voice. Oh my god, he's got like 3 different voices.
I go in the tavern.
I would like to take a dagger and start to hold it above. Forgotten the guy's name now, but the vampire.
Well, I
You
don't
have
think
never been told the vampires.
Yeah, we never been told his name. And when Onn starts doing that, I'll come over and I'll say, "Onn, please, please. You're not the one for this."
But he must be destroyed. He's dangerous.
I know, but you're gonna mess it up.
But we have him out here in the sunlight. This evening is going to be very dangerous for everyone in this town.
No, I'm saying that you're not gonna do it right. You should let me do it.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll put away the dagger and step aside.
All right, then I'll do a unfortunate coup de grace on the vampire dude.
That you will. It is an automatic hit.
I will automatically hit him.
Is
it an automatic crit?
It is an automatic crit.
Woohoo, baby. Well, we get a proper roll going on there. That's pretty good. That's 18 damage, and I suppose I could throw another D8 on there with the superiority die just because I'm saucy. How about 20 damage, and I trip him, so he's prone, but he's already prone because he's in a thing, so he's even more prone.
Just all the
whatever.
prone.
Is he prone to being prone?
He's so prone to being prone.
So you bring your sword down, stabbing him in the heart?
Sure. I mean,
okay.
Is that where you're supposed to hit vampires?
You tell me. Is that where Eigner thinks you're supposed to strike vampires?
No.
It'll be where On directs him.
Yeah. So whatever On says, that's what I did.
All right. So, On, where is he stabbing him?
The heart.
Okay.
Okay. I'm glad we figured that out.
All right. So,
The heart and a slash across the throat will be On's instructions.
You sink your sword into the heart of the corpse. And then hands reach up and grasp the sword as the eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
And push the pommel right at you.
Oh, wow.
Is a... Oh, yeah, that's definitely going to hit. 22.
I guess.
So you take the pommel right into your jaw.
Great.
For 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Fuck, dude.
As he pulls the sword free and cracks you in the face with it, and you stumble backward. And he starts to sit up, and as bits of his skin start to flake off into ash.
Wow.
He takes in a deep breath and then just screams out in pain. And the eyes looking at you, Eigner, are not full of anger or even fear, but of like confusion. And when he looks at Brock, he suddenly just has this, his face just slackens. And he almost looks sorry. Roll initiative.
Oh, wow. It's a doozy. That's what I'll say. It's been a doozy. Hey, I didn't roll shit initiative for once. Mark me down for 15.
I also rolling for initiative.
Everyone is.
Everyone.
Sorry.
Well,
That's an
I mean-
8.
except for Alton, because he's
Alton fucked off
tired.
a
He-
I'm
long
gonna-
time ago.
he's having.
I'm gonna
fun.
get your initiative anyway, Josh, in case you decide to not fuck off in this fight.
You spend an
Okay,
action.
I
to
guess
drink
there'll be a lot
beer.
of crashing. I might come out. So, God damn it. 7.
So yeah, at that, the guards all draw their swords, because now they believe you.
Yep.
And
Brock, I think we can leave the guards be. I think they'll help now.
yeah, I hope so. And that would make it Kyle's turn. Again, Mr. Vosh. You are disarmed as the vampire is
Yeah.
holding your sword.
Yeah. Well, I have one hand axe, so I'll just go ahead and take it out and just throw it right at his face.
Okay.
Ugh, that's a wide miss. Couldn't
Your
hit
hand
his-
axe just
yeah.
right past him, and the vampire drops your sword, and looks at Brock and says, "Brock, why have you done this thing?" And then he starts to stand up, and that makes it Drew's turn.
So is Eigner basically standing on top of the vampire still?
No, I kind of like got knocked back a little bit.
Yeah, he stumbled back a
Okay.
little bit. He's probably a couple feet away from it, maybe.
Right.
You know, I still couldn't hit it.
In that case, I am going to take out my daggers and spin them slightly and have them dance around in a 5-foot cube, making a sort of cloud of daggers.
You could say that it
Oh,
was
yeah.
a cloud of daggers.
Yes, in fact, that is exactly how I will describe this cloud of daggers. I will describe it as a cloud of daggers.
So I do need you to roll to see if a wild surge happens at a 2 or less because you didn't roll for your suggestion.
That's a good point. It's a 4.
Okay,
So
so
no.
no wild surge.
Okay. But yeah, so this is no saving throws, no attack rolls. It is just the creature within the square takes 4d4 slashing damage when it starts its turn there.
Okay. It's pulling itself to his feet as these daggers just start slashing at its flesh. Do I make a save?
No, you just take
no.
4d4
So-
slashing
so-
damage.
Roll up that damage because he's taking it now.
Okay. That's 1, 3 is 4. Another 1 is 5.
Wow.
And another 3.
There you
I've
go.
got 8 damage.
Okay.
Slashy slash.
So as he stands up, he again addresses Brock and says, "You and I have been through so much. I thought that we were friends." And Brock bares his teeth and says, "You and I have never been friends. You've always just taken what you wanted from me. And your kind have always treated mine with hatred. It's the best that I can put it. And there's a demeanor to Brock that you've never seen before. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say that's Brock's turn. Brock is going to come forward and bring his axe down. The vampire doesn't even try to resist as Brock buries his axe into his shoulder. And that's, again, Eigner's turn. I mean, I guess technically it's Alton's turn, if Alton would wish to do anything.
Would I have heard that, all of the, like, commotion?
Did you just decide to peace out and, like, run away, or did you just kind of walk backward while everyone walked forward?
No, I just went in, like, whenever, like the guards and everything, like, started going forward, I was like, this has nothing to do with me. It's all just a bunch of whatever. Because I don't know, like, legitimately, I didn't know anything that was going on.
No, you can hear. You can.
So
be
I just
privy
went
to
inside the
whatever.
bar. I just went inside the bar, so I'm in the area. I just.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can.
So
You
would
can
I
be
have
part of
heard
whatever
that?
damage you wanna, or you can be part of whatever conversation happens here that you would like to overhear, because you're not that far away.
Okay, so then, yeah, if I'm not that far away, then I will, come out. Come out the front door? How far away am I at that point? How much space do I have left? Or how much movement do I have left?
Between the main building and the stables, I mean, you guys made it there in one turn movement last time that we did this, so I'm gonna say it's probably about 25 feet away.
Okay. So in that case, I am gonna come out and, yeah, basically, do my riding dominating thing, kind of like swing around to an open spot that creates a flanking situation, and being that I have overheard the situation, I know it's going down. Just throw down a hunter's mark and stab down with my Zethos.
Go for it.
Because he's still like, is he still lying down, or is he? No, he's gotten up.
No, he's standing. He's standing up now.
Okay, so yeah, just blam, or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so 18.
That'll hit.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to give up a whole lot of resistance as you drive your sword into him.
Jesus. 8.
All right. That would then make it. So as you drive your sword into him, he doesn't even look at you like he's seeing that you're there. He's still locked in, him and Brock eye to eye. Brock is like snarling and has he's orcs who's standing like above him, and just in this bestial hulked, like his shoulders are up, his back is arched, his head's low, and he's just towering over this vampire. And the vampire is just looking up at him with his eyes are just beginning to like get a little bit watery. And he says, "But we have treated you with such kindness, and we have taken you in. We've always cared for you." And between his clenched teeth, Brock says, "And then you fed on me." And that would make it Eigner's turn.
Do the guards do anything?
The guards are all like, they're kind of edging closer, but they seem hesitant to engage, and it looks like they're comfortable with you guys dealing with the situation since you're all actively there as it is.
Okay.
And Ethel is just like staring in this sort of dazed blank confusion.
For sure. Well, I see that the vampire is not really putting up any kind of intense fight, so I know that I don't have to worry about so many attacks of opportunity or things like that. So I'm going to use 30 feet of movement to hopefully walk forward, grab my sword, walk backward, and stand next to Ethel.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, after he pulled the sword out of him, he just dropped it on the ground and
Yeah.
was able to pick it up and walk back to her.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk back to her, like her lip is trembling, and she whispers as you get close, "We shouldn't be doing this."
Look, I'm really sorry. This situation has gotten so completely out of hand. There were so many factors that I just had no idea were going to play out this way. I think we should just get out of here.
She doesn't say anything, but she grabs your whatever hand you have that's free.
Mm-hmm.
She grabs it, and she holds your hand, and you feel something in the palm of your hand.
I look down.
She's just giving you back the crystal of true seeing.
Ah, yeah, boy. Yeah. Okay.
Or rather, you two are holding hands and it's pressed between your palms. But yes.
Oh, okay. I will resist the temptation to make a romantic moment out of it because there are more pressing issues.
And she's
And,
married.
I mean, we're not even going to talk about that right now.
I mean,
But
divorce is 2 beers away, but still.
I will earnestly take the gem of true scene and look upon the scene between the vampire and Brock.
As you look, exactly.
What did I miss out on?
Alex's comment.
Yeah.
She's right. As you look through the crystal, Brock he looks like just like this 8-foot tall, clad in elegant armor, proud being. The helmet he wears, you're looking at him from behind, and along the side stretches out 2 sets of bat wings. It looks just like the helmet that you have on you still. And that's the only thing that changes through the trucing. Because I don't think anybody else is under magical enhancements at the moment.
Well.
Yeah.
Can I still talk to Ethel?
Of course.
I'll take the helm out and look at her and just try and talk to her on this level to not like freak her out necessarily, but just to like really express the urgency of the moment. And I'll say, can you destroy this right now?
She puts a hand on it and then pulls it back as if it's hot. And just shakes her head.
Wow. Well, in that case,
I'm gonna cut you off. It's now
Yeah.
Drew's turn.
yeah, that's fine.
It's been like a solid 12 seconds now. So
Right.
Yeah.
It's been a solid 2 rounds, man. Stop hopping up over turns.
Okay. Right. But the combat's still occurring between Brock and the vampire.
Yeah,
They're
technically you,
still
because none of you have
engaged.
stopped fighting him except for Eigner.
Cool. Right. In that case, I am going to do not a stupid thing. I am gonna fire a chaos bolt at the vampire. So I'm gonna take a couple of steps back and
Krakow.
Chaos Bolt's a cantrip, right?
No.
chaos bolt is not. No, it's another
Oh.
2nd level spell.
Okay, so you actually need to make your roll, and it's got to be at a 5+, because I forgot to add that. I forgot to make your roll for your last Chaos Bolt.
Right. Okay.
I am on top of making you roll that thing.
Wild magic surges is.
Okay. So I got a 17 plus 6 for my attack roll.
That's hit.
23, and I got a 10 on the
That's-
wild magic surge.
That's wild magically safe for you.
Yay! Okay, so that's 2d8 to the d6. Yeah, 2d8 and 1d6 damage. 5 and 5 and 6, and I get to choose one of the d8s. 5 or 6. Lightning or poison? Lightning! Let's do lightning damage.
All right.
So that's 16 lightning damage.
Cool. Yeah, this electricity just jolts through his body, and he shudders in response to it. But aside from that, he just reaches out and puts a hand on Brock's shoulder and says, "You don't need to do this. We can work this out." And Brock just bares his teeth and brings his axe down again. And
Go
that
on,
makes
Rock.
it Josh's turn.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, vampire attacking vampire. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pretty easy sell for me. So attacking vampire twice.
Okay.
And obviously, positioning myself on the other side of
Dominate so that you have your
well,
advantage.
Brock or Domini, one of the two.
Yeah, you've got the advantage.
So, yeah. Good thing I had it. The first one is 18 natural, so 24. And the second one is 21 total.
All right, those both will hit.
Okay, so first is nice. 13 damage for the piercing, and nice 14 damage for the slashing.
All right. You keep stabbing and slashing at him.
Yeah.
And he's again not even acknowledging you.
Right.
But it's more of his flesh is just like burning away. You can now start to see like where part of his face is missing. There's bone underneath. You see the large like side of his eye is like visible through the socket, kind of like Two-Face, where he's got the big bulging eye.
Right. Yeah.
And like the sun is chipping away at his flesh as well as you guys. And the guards just kind of look at each other and look at the rest of you and say, "You all seem to have this well at hand. I think we'll leave you be now." And they start to slowly back away. That makes it Eigner's turn.
Am I close to that door that no longer exists because it got grafted onto Onn's body?
Opposite end of the street. You guys came from like the main street towards that building. And you haven't like Ethel hasn't moved very far from where you and her first showed up. And then you guys saw the scene. She hasn't really moved far from there.
Oh. Okay. I was just getting the positioning wrong. So I've got this weird idea, and it involves like going inside the Sven's Head pub and seeing if there is like a fire already stoked in the hearth.
Okay.
With like 30 feet of movement, would I be able to accomplish that easily?
Yeah, I'd say you could probably walk in the door from there.
All right. So I'll walk in the door and check and see if there is a fire alive in the hearth.
The hearth itself is burned down to coals, which is just that way now for cooking purposes, because it is a very hot day, and keeping a fire going during the daytime on a hot day, not a great idea.
Well, if it's good for cooking, is there like a pot on there?
Yeah.
Okay. I will throw the helmet into the pot, into the hot pot.
Okay.
And let it cook.
Simply walk into Mordor.
All right. Yeah, you throw the helmet in, and immediately you start to hear the metal sizzling, but like you realize it's not actually the metal. Like it's not sizzling. It's actually a scream. And I would like you to make me a wisdom save.
A wisdom save. Oh,
yeah, not a will
great.
save. Wrong edition.
You're not going to give me any advantage, inspiration.
Absolutely
nothing?
not.
Oh, okay, fine. You know, it's good to ask. You know, it's always good to ask.
It is.
Oh,
Can't get a yes if you don't ask.
Oh, that's a 15. That's a 17 total. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. That's okay.
The screeching sound turns into words that say, "Save me!" And you recognize it as the helm reaching out to you to try to get you to protect it from the thing you're trying to do to damage it.
You've meddled in all this too much. It's time to destroy you.
And then,
No, and then
as you are saying these words, the fire blazes into a deep reddish purple, and the roof of the building tears away. The sunlight that was pouring through the windows, like the bright, brilliant yellow of the day, turns like to a blood red. The sky above you, that is now visible through the hole in the roof of this building, is that same deathly red that you saw before. And staring down at you is the shadowy demon, and it laughs again, as it always does, and says, "This is how it all begins. You can try to fight it all you want, but all you will do is play into my hand. All you will do is damn yourself."
I've seen your true face, demon. I'm not scared of you.
You will be. And with that, we're going to go to Drew's turn.
All right. Let's. I'm worried about the vampire moving out of the cloud of daggers. So
Absolutely has not. So actually, roll me that, because I haven't made him do that.
Has he had a turn since?
Yes.
Oh, then I shall roll it. Well, if he's not moving, then I'm not gonna like sacrifice myself to go in. Ooh, 3 fours.
I know Eigner.
3 fours.
Wow.
That is
Oof.
13.
And actually, Brock has moved into it too. Because he's like right next to the vampire.
Yeah. So I know that Eigner can't see this, but does Brock react any differently to Onn's perspective?
Oh, I'll get there. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So yeah, so that's 13 points for the cloud of daggers before my turn hits. Then.
I'll apply that to both of them.
Both, yeah. So yeah, I will. Let's try and end this heroically. I shall take my spear and just stab it into the cloud of daggers, into the side of this vampire, and I'll shout to Brock, "Get clear of the daggers!"
Okay. Roll your attack roll and your damage roll.
My attack roll is a 14.
That will miss.
Ah. Oh well.
As you jab your spear, it like just catches on the back of his fine suit as the vampire steps out of his coffin for the first time, right in front of Brock, and wraps his arms around the orc, and says, "It is okay. I forgive you." And as that happens, the rest of his form just cracks and flakes away and turns to dust. And then a second later, just poof, he's gone.
Wow.
Brock, his demeanor upon being like embraced slumps, not like the angry aggressive slump, but just a slump of a man who's just extremely exhausted. And then he just drops to the ground, like not like passing out or anything, but just like doesn't want to stand on his feet any longer, puts his head in his hands and begins to weep.
I will Dismiss. Cloud of daggers. I want to kind of like, he's a bit emo enough at the moment. I don't want to be cutting him as well.
I
Doesn't need that.
kind of just walk up to him and just kind of pat him. Like I'm aware that like I'm not socially inept, right? So I'm like I go up to pat him, but even though like I'm doing it not as like a thought experiment, I still am not very good at it. So I pat him on the shoulder. It's kind of a little awkward.
He looks up at you, his eyes red-rimmed, and he says, "It had to be done. For all orcs everywhere. We have got to pull ourselves out from under the thumb of the dwarves."
Yeah. I mean, slavery's bad. That's definitely true, and I'm sure you guys are still reeling from thousands of years of systematic racism. So there's that. Yeah. You now carve a new country for yourself. I don't know what this actually accomplishes per se. Not really up to date on my dwarven political structures.
It is a step forward in something. I don't know what, but something. And he turns, he pushes himself to his feet and turns to look at the dwarven town guard, who actually have, at this point, kind of edged their way out to pretty much being as far of the situation as possible. And he looks at them and he growls, or gives like a full-on like war cry, and they all turn and run away. I need to leave. I'm done with this place, and I am done with the buffos.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. They seem to be pretty crappy to you if they're treating you like that. Yeah. Peaceful resistance. Just, yeah, do peaceful resistance. It's much better.
He raises an eyebrow at you and says, "I'm an orc. There is no such thing as peace." And then walks away.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, that's gonna work out well.
Eigner,
Mm-hmm.
when your demonic vision fades, the fire is still down to embers, but when you look inside the pot, you threw the helmet into some like stew that had been brothing, and now it is just this silvery liquid with chunks of carrot in it. The helm has melted much faster than seemed plausible, given the heat of the hearth.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will find some logs and I will throw them on there and get the pair of bellows that is certainly hanging very close to the hearth, and I will slowly just and nurse that fire back to a nice raging situation. Essentially, my idea is just to sit here for a while. Maybe I'll take a short rest while I'm at it. Try and rustle up some ale, and just sit and drink some ale and rest, recover some hit points, stoke
I don't
this
know
fire.
if you're gonna have that opportunity.
Oh, really? Well, I'm gonna chill there, and I'm just gonna stoke this fire for a little while, because I want it to like all just burn down into this like mucky, burnt crisp on the inside of the cauldron. That's what I want.
After a few minutes of this, Ethel comes into the room and puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Eigner, remember we have other things we need to do."
Yes, I understand. Just give me a moment. I want to make sure this fire's hot enough.
She looks at the pot and the silvery liquid and says, "Is that what I think it is?"
It's the only thing I could think of to do. You know, I think it may have helped. I It sent me into another crazy vision. I saw that demon again. Said some cryptic, crazy stuff, but I don't know. I think this is the right thing.
Okay. Well, we have something else to do, so let's go do that.
Yeah, let me get just one more log. Can you make sure that Alton and Onn are ready to go?
Yes. She heads out of the room. As you
I'll leave a note, by the way, and say, "Do not eat."
as you coax the fire, the whole room is lit up in these flames now, flickering around, casting weird shadows about the room. The heat of the day plus the heat of the hearth you're standing in front of is almost too much. You begin just sweating in your armor. The injury you sustained earlier from the helmet's bite is just also really itching and burning. And as the shadows flicker about the room, there's a shadow of a figure sitting right next to you, its image swaying back and forth with the flicker of the flames. When you look in the direction that it looks like someone should be sitting, there's nothing there.
Is that you, Darius?
The voice inside your head that is very familiar says, "No, you know who I am. We have
Oh,
spoken before."
look, you need to die. I don't know if this is gonna help you die, but obviously you need to die. Just cross over. I'm gonna put another log onto the fire. Maybe that'll make it hot enough to where your soul can just break free of this plane, however it works. I don't even know how it works, but you just need to move on.
Eigner, you have something. I quite enjoy it. I think I'll stick around for a little while and just see what you make of things. This should be fun. The shadow and the voice are gone.
Eigner, as usual, just does not understand. He'll put one more log onto the fire and then go out and make sure that the whole party is assembled.
All right. Outside, before Agner comes out, Ethel comes together and kind of says blankly to just the people around, which at this point is just Onn and Alton, and says, "Onn, Alton, are we ready to go?"
Go where now?
Oh, yeah, I told Agner. I know what we're looking for, and I know where it is. Your friend Eridu, he hid an orb here uh, in the crypt of an old friend of his. A dwarf by the name of Peregrine Ilsef? Pragrin, sorry. Pragin Ilsef. I pronounced that wrong, sorry. And we need to go to his crypt, his family crypt, and retrieve the orb. Yeah, and then we can be done with our stuff here. Agner will be along shortly.
Okay.
So since the vampire has been dealt with, we can return to what appears to be the more pressing situation. Yes, I'll be right with you there.
All right. So she just kind of stands awkwardly looking at you two, occasionally fiddling with something. Every once in a while, casting a nervous glance back at the inn. And a few minutes later, Agner comes outside.
On. I would really like it if you could whip up a little salve or something for me. This is He's looking pretty disgusting right now.
What does it look like to me?
There's little chain links kind of like inside of my skin, like sticking out for one.
You can see this greenish yellow pus building up around the injury itself.
That'll remind me that I threw the arm down, so I'll run and pick up the arm, and then I'll come back and see what I can do with his arm. See if there's does it look like something to lance, perhaps, or would this be more like a wrap a cloth in like soggy herb juice and just like put it on?
Well, if you pull the chainmail back, you can see where the injury is at, and you can see a blackness setting itself into the veins around the injury itself. It's not spreading at the same speed that that Tekker's was, but it's definitely there.
Shit's
I'll
rough.
pull out the wooden bit.
On. I don't like the look of that. I've seen those before, many times.
Yes, it's for you to bite down on.
I know, but is that really necessary?
Oh, it's not necessary at all. No, you're quite right. It's just most people like to have it to deal with the pain. Now, would you like below the elbow or above?
On. Please tell me you're not saying what I think you're saying.
I hope that I am saying what you think I'm saying.
On. This is my shield arm. This is my shield arm. On. You cannot take my shield arm.
Right at present, I don't know any other way to deal with this
Alright.
infection.
Alright. Apothecary. You're useless. I'm sorry, On, but you're useless right now. Where is the apothecary?
At this point, Ethel comes over and, what's the holdup? I thought we were ready to go.
Ethel, I need to find medical assistance right now or I will lose my arm.
Okay. All right. Do that. You guys get Eigner patched up, the two of you. That's your job right now.
All right.
I would like you to go, and I'd like you to find this person, this Pragan, and I want you to figure out where his family crypt is at and go there. Meet me there. Do you understand? Are we
Yes.
clear?
Absolutely.
Okay. Take care of him. I've got to go. And with that, she turns and starts to run down the street.
I am going to escort Eigner towards the apothecary, keeping an eye out for any blacksmiths that might be open to like doing like a really cool stump with like a shield lock on it. Just like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that can rotate as well, so that like you can have the shield facing to the side like that, or you can have it like on the front on, so you can back people with it. Yeah. Oh well, Ace.
Eigner will be the first
Just in case.
cyborg. Yeah.
The apothecary is not far away. He actually stayed at Sven's head while caring for Tekker. When you guys go back into the inn, he's actually there, like, putting down the fire. Like, you know, sweating and damping at his forehead and going, "It's too hot in here for this." And he's, like, dampening the fire.
Don't eat that.
He looks at it, looks at you, and goes, "It's silver. Something's clearly gone wrong in there."
Yeah, just don't eat it. And just let it burn, okay? Just let it burn.
But it's really hot in here. I've seen hot downstairs.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's fine. You can take it down. Just don't extinguish the fire entirely.
Oh, okay. I won't.
Also, I am gravely injured, and I need your help.
Funny, you don't look very grave.
At that point, I'll just start taking off my armor and chainmail, and obviously that's the hardest part, is to take off the chainmail shirt, because parts of it, the chain is stuck into my skin, so I'm like ripping it out and just going, ah!
Once you do that, he kind of looks at you and says, "You know, you should have let me do that. I could remove those links a lot easier."
Okay, just please take care of me.
All right. Well, we'll take a seat here. Let's take a look at you. He starts looking at your arm and goes, "Oh yeah, looks like you got yourself bit by something nasty. Well, this is a nicely spreading infection."
I can't lose that arm. It's my shield arm. I cannot lose it.
He puts a hand on your shoulder and he smiles at you and says, "Don't worry, son. You won't."
Thank you.
And with that, he says, "Well, I do have to go and grab a few things from my stores. I'll be right back. You guys just wait here."
Okay.
And I actually think that's where we're going to leave you for today.